I was very excited to find out that Raph Koster, he was the lead designer of Ultima Online and creative director for Star Wars Galaxies, and a man who literally wrote the book on fun, on games actually being fun. This is a great book. You should pick it up if you haven't, so if you're interested in that kind of thing. Um, he's working on a new MMO, and there's not a lot of information about it yet. It's called Playable Worlds. I was looking through like the social media sites for it, and I saw some stuff that has me. Um, well, I mean, I'm definitely interested in checking it out anyway because I just enjoyed Star Wars Galaxies so much myself. I never played Ultima Online, but I uh, I saw that you can run it in. It's going to have a seasonal system. It seems to be some sort of like space, uh, not base building, but like town building where there's more of a community element to it. And the towns in Star Wars Galaxies were really cool. Having a bunch of players like working together to kind of make towns and plan them out. Was something I enjoyed. I played it with my sister for a bit, and she was the mayor of the town that we had a settlement in. And and it was a good time. I liked the how the crafting system was like interconnected with the game and the economy and the housing system. So like when I when I wanted to have like a shop, I could decorate it with items that I had crafted myself to put on up for kind of display, and that was something I really enjoyed doing. And I hope that that's something that will be in playable worlds. I don't know. Um, I'm I'm interested just because it's a sci-fi MMO, and I really enjoy those kinds of things. Something else I saw that made me kind of excited about it is that you can have fun in a 5-minute play session. Um, I'm gonna go into like it in a little bit, but something that holds back a lot of the old school designed MMOs was the time commitment for them because a lot of people stopped playing because they had more demands on their life, not necessarily because they lost interest. Sometimes it was kind of a culmination of both, but I mean, for the most part, you if you want to hop on for a few minutes and keep in touch with the people that you've played with, your guildies or whatever, then it's good to have a game where you can do that. One where you don't need to play hours and hours a day to be competitive because that's not realistic for a lot of adults that have jobs and families and hobbies and other commitments. So I appreciate that it's designed with the idea in mind that, you will have people that can play all day, every day, and, they become, kind of pillars of the online community, and it's good to have those people, but it's also important that it's accessible for people that don't have that kind of time to commit to an MMO. So it's good to see that. Um, and one thing that like I thought was kind of interesting is you know, there's only like a couple of posts about what the game's gonna be, and there was like one that emphasized seasons and a second one that was saying that you could possibly get snowed in, um, like in a tavern that's run by players. So it would be kind of interesting. Something that Star Wars Galaxies did that I just haven't seen in any other MMO. When they were designing the player classes, right? They had some that were entirely support classes, as in they didn't have combat capabilities originally. Like if you were a doctor or a entertainer, entertainers were originally like broken off into like musicians and dancers like separately, and like image designing. The skill trees were rather um it, some people can say robust, some people can say convoluted, but it gave a lot of freedom. Like another thing that Galaxies did was it limited you to one player, one character per server. So if you saw somebody in the game, it was them. Like, in Warcraft, I had 50 alts at one point, and I'm not making up that number. I hit the amount of characters you could create cap, and like some of them were, bank mules, but for the most part, a lot of them were like max level characters by the time I stopped playing. And like, it wasn't until they added the real ID, the battle.net thing that people could even find what server I was on if we were friends. So, but yeah, in Galaxies, if you saw somebody, it was them. And while it was frustrating for some people to have that restriction, I mean, myself included, I was kind of an alcoholic. I mean, like, I and multiple other people I knew got around it by like having multiple accounts, which defeated the purpose of it. But I can appreciate like whenever limitations serve a purpose and they're not just there to like hamstring progress or something. Like, meaningful restrictions can really work in games. Um, but if you were a crafter uh, originally, you couldn't, you weren't combative at all. You would craft, like you would gather materials and build things out of them. Like you build like an outfit or like a big extractor and droids and a ship, like not spaceships. They added spaceships later, but you couldn't like build them. But there was like vehicles, like hover bikes, swoops, that kind of thing. But I mean, there was like I don't know, like if there was somebody that was a chef, like that's just what they did when they played, and that was kind of interesting. Um I don't know how much of that is going to be in the new one, and that's kind of what I'm always getting into. I um I don't know. Did I say the thing about the weather? Yeah. One of the posts was that what if you could get snowed in? And I think it's kind of interesting. There's Ashes of Creation is also like an MMO that is trying to make seasons matter, and I don't know how Playable Worlds is going to go about it, but I will kind of say how they're trying to do it, just based on what I've seen in their live streams about the game development. They have a visual representation of the different seasons that the flora and fauna will both have kind of a different like the grass will have a different texture. Uh, there's weather systems and there's a different spawn of animals in different seasons. And I think that's a really interesting way to kind of give the illusion of passage of time in the game world, more so than just a day night cycle, but everything is just perpetual spring in a lot of the areas. So it's really interesting to see more care put into the worlds in MMOs because realistically, a lot of the ones that have been around a long time that are kind of on their last leg are just everybody stays in the same spot, teleports to the newest dungeon, and then teleports back and logs out. Like there's not a lot of time spent in the open world, and it's good to see that developers still working on new projects care about putting effort into the world. I think a lot of the reason that people kind of fall off and stop even wanting to spend time in the world is because a lot of times the mid-level content is very lackluster because a lot of people start out and then stop playing, and a lot of people spend most of their time at in game because there's kind of the modern uh, desire to rush to the end game and then wait there as long as you possibly can. Like a game will be like a year between expansions, but people want to like hit level cap within a week. And and then just grind the same tiny handful of dungeon content like for an entire year, or instead of taking their time and enjoying like like what else the expansion has to offer. Everybody has their own preference in how they play. I'm just saying, like, I do wonder if like if there is a slower paced audience, especially with the idea that you can have like a 5 minute play session and still enjoy yourself. Because I feel like games that have catered to I don't want to call them impatient, but I will call them the grind people, the kind of people that like can finish a game instead of just play it as long as they feel like and then put it down and play something else. The ones that are like, no, I'm gonna like I'm gonna mainline this game. I'm gonna play. I'll stay up all night if I have to. I'm just gonna put as many hours in as short of amount of time as possible to kind of power through it. It's fine if that's how people enjoy playing games. I'm not criticizing it. I'm describing it, right? Like I it's just that not every game has to be designed around players like that, because there are for the most part more like casual players that are ever going to pick up a game, especially like an online game, like in a lot of MMOs only like 1%, like, it's very, very low, like, as in, usually 98% or so of people that play it don't do in-game content. Like, they don't they don't do raids or anything like that. It's a very small percentage of players that even engage in that. And, for the kind of people that, like, are gonna watch videos about video games, they're probably in that 1%, but, for the most part, people just I don't know, they pick it up and they play it when they can, and, you know, um, a lot of my friends would take months or a year to even reach max level on a character, in a game that we were playing. So, like, I was used to people, not having as much time, and that being completely fine. Um, but, like, they can play for a couple of hours on a Saturday or something. But yeah, I don't know what the game's gonna be. I'm optimistic about it. I'm definitely gonna try it out because I've I've enjoyed I've enjoyed Galaxies, and he worked on that, and he has a lot of good stuff to say that definitely resonates with me about game design in general, in his book. So I'm excited to see what he comes up with, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Um, I I was going to get into, do kind of old school games, rely on nostalgia, but I think I'll probably just save that for maybe tomorrow. And because I didn't realize I would have this much to say on it. It's just a small announcement I saw, but I don't know. I guess I am excited. Take care.